I'd like to talk to you about family Takaful, specifically family Takaful, which is known as life insurance for the Muslim community in the Western terms. Family Takaful within the Middle East is a fairly recent development in terms of the Bank Al Jazeera Takaful Taawuni operation, which started its development in 1999 and opened for business in 2002 and was very successful in its business operation, so much so that Prudential, specifically Prudential Corporation Asia, which I work for now, which has the most successful life Takaful operation in the world when you combine the Indonesian and Malaysian operations in Asia together, is larger than any of the other life Takaful operators in Malaysia as standalone or composites. We developed Takaful and went through the many issues that had to be overcome when developing it. Principally, one of the major ones was the composition of the Sharia board and the overcoming of Sharia objections. It's within the Sharia compliant insurance environment, we have a broad spectrum of beliefs in terms of insurance and Takaful. On one end of the spectrum is the belief that there is no acceptance of any form of insurance whatsoever, be it Takaful or conventional. And on the other end of the spectrum is a belief that conventional insurance is acceptable to Muslims. I've taken up both issues with the scholars in terms of those who don't believe in any form of Takaful, of talking them through, which I will do now, the components that make up an acceptable Sharia compliant Takaful operation. And I have taken up with scholars who have claimed that conventional insurance is acceptable. And the latter is an easier objection when I asked them, what about the investments? I said, if you ignore the insurance principles, what about the investments? Are the investments Sharia compliant? And they hesitate to answer. But the other principal objection in terms of conventional insurance is the transfer of risk, is that the client pays a premium, the risk is transferred to the insurance company, whereas in Takaful, a premium is paid into a mutual pool where brother Muslims protect each other through the lifetime of their contracts. Certainly, the development of the Sharia aspects of the Takaful operation, you need a Sharia board who is knowledgeable and who will work with you in each aspect of the contractual development, and then will issue a fatwa. I believe it was very interesting that when we went out to market Takaful the first time, where the belief was in Saudi Arabia that the main objection would be, is it Sharia compliant, is it acceptable? Our marketing strategy of a fatwa from the Sharia board in the brochure overcame most, if not all, of the objections. The principal objections, I say with a smile on my face, were conventional objections. We have no money, come back next week, we're getting married, my daughter's getting married, we're going on holiday. All of the traditional, typical objections you would find when you were selling conventional life insurance to non-Muslims. Life is the same for Muslims around the world, and these were the objections. Not was the product Sharia compliant. So in terms of the Sharia process, pick your Sharia board carefully, work with them in every aspect of the Sharia compliance of the products and the contracts. Have them issue a fatwa, which you may use in your marketing promotion or not. We found it was very successful, and ensure that anything that comes up thereafter, you go back to your Sharia board. I will give you an example. The Sharia board would not accept accidental death in the first instance, feeling this was gambling on how one would die, either of natural causes or of accidental death causes. In due course, there was an understanding that the payment of additional premium was no different for any other coverage, and an acceptance of accidental death. Development of the Takaful Tawni program beyond the Sharia compliance came down to the development of products. And as I go around conferences, I'm often asked, and there's often statements from the floor, why can't we be different from conventional insurance? And my answer is, why should we be? Are Muslims not facing the same problems as non-Muslims? Do they not need protection throughout their life? Do they not need savings for retirement? Do they not need savings for education of their children? And in Saudi Arabia, we introduced a fairly unique product, in that they were saving for marriage, because the cost and expense of marriages in the Islamic world is exceedingly high. So we created a Takaful product for saving for marriage. But there is a need to provide Muslims with the basic products that we know in the Western world. There is no need to dream up extravagant products that would be sold to very few people. The vast majority of the Muslim community need to have a savings protection product that will protect them in terms of a death benefit or a critical illness, a living benefit, as they save towards their retirement. If I may emphasize in terms of the mutual pool that's created from the savings, the beauty of Takaful is that where there is no benefit paid to the contract holder paying into the fund because he did not die or he did not contract a significant illness or a critical illness, the pool is there to protect brother Muslims. So the beauty of Takaful is that you're also doing something for the benefit of your hereafter, in that the mutual pool that the funds are going into is not just for your benefit, but it can be if you need it, but is for the benefit of the other Muslims in the pool that, God forbid, are less fortunate than yourself throughout the lifetime of the contract. The other very significant part about Takaful, which a lot of people don't appreciate, is that just like insurance products, these products are sold, they're not bought. Even though it's Takaful, and even though you have a Muslim community that is there, these are not products where it's compulsory to buy, such as in some countries like motor, where they will come to you, or medical, to get a work visa, where they will come to you. You need to sell these products. So you need to create a sales environment, be it on an agency arrangement or bank assurance, or in bank Takaful, should I say, or in a more developed countries in terms of direct sales. You need to create a sales environment where these products are sold to the Muslim community. You cannot develop Takaful and expect clients to come to you. The features and benefits of family Takaful are, as mentioned, you can save towards your retirement. You may have a social security fund. You may have had a compulsory social insurance arrangement where you have to pay, but do remember that the capital does not belong to you. You will get an annuity, a weekly, monthly payment, but on your death your wife may get a reduced annuity, but the capital does not belong to you. In Takaful, we do not call them pension funds, we call them savings funds. That you are both your capital provider and capital recipients, so that on the cessation of the contract you have created a pool of money that you can continue to invest through the Takaful company, use for some other purpose, draw down on a weekly basis. We have found in the Middle East, as I've found in Asia, as I've looked at our Takaful operations in Asia, unlike the Western worlds, which are highly developed and have moved from pensions to annuities, there is a need to come in at the grassroots levels and have clients save for the future. So my belief is annuities, Takaful annuities, will be a very significant product for the future, but less so now. We are in an environment where we want clients to save, we want clients to supplement their government pension so that they are more comfortable on retirement. And during the savings period, to be paying a tabaru, a charitable donation, into a mutual cooperative pool with brother Muslims that will allow the protection throughout the life of the plan. The normal way I explain it is that if there were only savings, God forbid after 12 months of savings you were to be under the will of Allah, because nothing can go against the will of Allah, to die, all you would be returned are the 12-month savings. By having a Takaful product with the savings element and the protection element, the 12 months of savings would still be returned, but the more significant protection element would also go to your family to help your family financially. I think it's very important to mention that Takaful never goes against the will of Allah. It cannot. It is there in case of the will of Allah. If you are fortunate to go through the Takaful contract and reach retirement age and your contract comes to an end and you've never had to call upon the pool of the charitable tabaru pool, then I would advise any participant in Takaful that is the beauty of Takaful. You have not called on that element, but that element has been used to protect your brother Muslims. The savings element is yours, and at the end of the contract that can be either retained in an investment for you or paid for you.